What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another video. I've done 3 or 4 videos in a row now, I can't believe it. I'm getting back on track, but today I wanted to talk to you guys about doing sensor cleans. So I noticed today that my camera had a few dust spots on it. You probably can't see from this video, but I'm going to shoot in 4K, so hopefully I can crop in a little bit. Now, I have an overhead camera set up so we can go ahead and see everything I'm going to do. I thought I would go into Auckland Camera Center and just get them to clean it for me, but I decided I could make a video for you guys instead showing you how to do it. Now, a bit of a disclaimer first, this can damage your sensor if you're not careful, if you don't use the right stuff, if you don't do it right, you can damage something to do with sensor stabilization, if you push too hard, or you can scratch the sensor, and you really don't want to be doing that. So if you're not comfortable with it, I'd suggest taking it to your local camera shop. Auckland Camera do it for a really reasonable price. I'm sure there's a local camera store nearby you that can do it. Do this at your own risk. Don't blame me if you start scratching up your sensor. Now, for you guys that don't know, I used to work at Auckland Camera Center before I went full-time with my wedding photography. So this was part of the process of working there. I've gotten pretty good at it over the years, but I haven't done it in a long time. So I went ahead anyway and I bought all the stuff I needed. So there's a few main things you need with this process. The first and main one would be the sensor cleaning fluid. Now this is Eclipse fluid. It's a pretty common one, but this is what we used to use in the camera shop. I'm sure you can get other stuff as well that's really good, but this is good stuff. It's reliable and I know it works because I've used it before. The next thing on the list is a loupe. Now this isn't 100% necessary, but I would definitely suggest getting one. All it is basically a magnifying glass, and this one has little LED lights, you know, so you can see what you're looking at when you're looking down on your sensor. Now the next thing you need is these swabs. So these are a really high quality one. I think Eclipse make these too. I bought all of this stuff from Auckland Camera Center. Now another thing you really want to have in your toolbox is just one of these blowers. This is just a HEPA jet blower. It has a little filter on the bottom of it, so it's not blowing dust back into your sensor. But this is a really good way just to maintain it. You'll find after a while if you don't blow off your sensor, the dust will end up sticking and it's much harder to get off when you get to this cleaning process. So let's cut to the B cam and start cleaning the sensor. Chances are you're not going to be able to see the dust on the sensor, and that's what we have this little loupe for. So let's get straight into it. Now I haven't cleaned anything. This is the first time this sensor will ever have a clean. These cameras are pretty new. It doesn't have much dust on it. A couple of spots when you stop it right down to like f22, you can see that. So all I'm going to do now is just go ahead and have a quick look at the sensor and see what I can find. It looks like it's mostly dust, and you can start just with one of these blowers. So we're just going to give it a quick blow. I can see straight away there was a little bit of dust flying off there, so I don't know if you can see that on camera. And this obviously isn't a sterile room, so maybe there'll be dust and air to get back on it, but let's have another look. So really that's got most of the dust off the sensor. It still has a few dust spots, so we're going to go ahead and use this Eclipse cleaning fluid here. So we've got our swab here, and all I'm going to do is just chuck a couple of dots on here. 3. That's it. That's all you need. Just a really small amount. Now in terms of pressure, you don't want to be putting a lot of pressure on it, but it's probably a little less fragile than you think. So it's really just kind of putting that finger tight pressure on there and just giving it a swipe. It's really hard to explain when you're talking about how to press something visually. Just enough pressure that you're going to clean it. All you're going to do is just make one clean swipe like that. That's all. Now what we're going to do is put it down on the plastic here so it's on a clean surface, and just have another look at it with the loupe. That's pretty much spotless. I'm sure you guys won't be able to see that. That's it. It's clean. So it's obviously not always going to be that easy. You just want to make sure you're not leaving streaky marks. I've seen them quite a lot when people would try it at home and they bring it back. What they've done is just put streak marks all over the sensor. So you've got to be a little bit careful with that. This one's come out fine. Like I said, these sensors are new. So this is something you want to do not all the time, but if you start seeing dust, you want to try and blow it out first with your blower, and if that doesn't work, then get a sensor clean done. If you start leaving that dust on there, on the sensor, it's just going to get stickier and stickier, and it's going to end up not coming off. It's important to maintain your cameras, make sure you've done it all right. It's a really simple process, but you want to get it right. So there you have it, guys. Like I said, it really isn't that complicated. I managed to do it just in one swipe. So I would use one swab for maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 top swipes, depending on how clean your sensor is in the first place. Just make sure you're not picking up anything on the edge here which can scratch the sensor or anything like that. And then just move on to your next one, but in most cases you can get it done in one sitting. Now don't worry if your sensor's moving around a little bit because you have sensor stabilization. There's not really much you can do about it. I've noticed some cameras in the past, I can't remember what models, but they had a mode where it would lock the sensor and you can clean it, but it really doesn't matter that much. You're not putting that much pressure on it that you're going to break anything. So that's it guys, thanks for watching. I hope that helps you guys out. If you want to see anything else in the future, drop a comment below and I'm still taking a list of everything you guys want to see. I have a big 2-day Indian wedding coming up tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to that. Maybe I'll see if I can get some backstage footage or anything. Backstage, behind the scenes footage of any of that. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.